Today, I'm going to share 3 gift ideas for 3 different types of creators, which is going to bring us to a total of 9 gifts, but we can't stop there. So I'm going to add an extra bonus one, bring it to a total of 10 gifts for a creative in your life, or a Christian creative like you who, let's be honest, just needs to give grandma and grandpa another gift idea so they don't buy you anything else but that black t-shirt that you wear like me every day. First things first, let's dive into the different types of creatives. We have the DIYer, the cultivator, and the maker. The DIYer is this person who's on the go, really trying to figure things out, get things done. They're really trying to grow their ministry or their work, get their name out there per se. The cultivator, they're the deep thinker, the one who's really taking things slow, maybe slow to publish. They're thinking through things critically. And then finally, we have the maker, the one that is there just for the times of making and fun and just really putting hard work into making something worth doing. And all of us fall into this category in one shape or another when we're Christian creatives pursuing what the Lord's kind of designed us to do to make things for His glory. And so I figured this would be a fun way of categorizing these different types of personalities as I think through as I'm gift giving for people, or maybe you'll find yourself in this holiday season. But let's jump into the DIYer. The first gift for the DIYer, and I split these up in categories too that my wife and I really use, which are something you want, something you need, something to wear, and something to read. And I'm gonna go ahead and wipe off the something to wear because we talked about the black t-shirt. Just kidding. Actually, if you want something to wear, I'm going to be hosting a sale over on our Run Club store, and anything you get there is going to be at a discounted rate and support what we're doing to support Christian creatives and the resources that we make here, as well as the music that we make through Illumination Project. So if you want to run over there, check over there. We're going to have some sales going on for the holidays. That only leaves us 3 categories: something we want, something we need, and then I'm going to add in something to read and just some devotional thoughts on Christianity and creativity and that sort of thing. So let's jump right into it with the DIYer first. The first things first, what does a DIYer want? And I think one thing that has come in handy for me as a creative that I've loved is my bag. And it's not just any bag. I have a mono bag. It's one of my most favorite durable bags. I've had it for years. In fact, it's even busted and they've sent me a new one. But I think what makes a good bag is the amount of compartments it has, but also the amount of accessories it has on the outside, whether it has hooks or clamps or things that I could actually hook other things onto it. As a creative, I find myself always bringing more probably than I need to a shoot or to a show, or if I'm going out to shoot content somewhere. And so just having the ability to pack in different things is super helpful. I actually found one on Amazon that was pretty comparable to the one that I have. In fact, mine's kind of looking a little dingy and I'm not sure they're going to replace it again. So I might actually get this exact bag. But it is called a Moziso camera backpack. And what I loved about this was the different compartments. Probably my most favorite thing I saw was the actual side access. I always find myself like shoving my bag in other people's like back seats or between other pieces of gear, and just needing to get in there and grab my camera really fast would be super helpful to be able to do that side access. And it had the access up front for my laptop, as well as the different hooks that I mentioned, so that I could hook carabiners and different sorts of things to hook that on. So I know creatives don't usually want to spend money on this, so it's something they really do want. They want a good bag, a good utility bag. So just bless the creative by getting them a good bag. But what they really actually need is they really just need an SD card holder, a simple multi SD card holder, because these ones just don't do. Simple SD card holders, and let's be honest, I am looking at 4 SDs right now across the camera that don't have any holder on them at all. Let's jump into something that I don't think anybody's ever actually heard me recommend on this channel before, but that's a couple good books. And so the first category of read is for the DIYer. This is somebody that's a little ambitious. They like to dream. They like to think about the possibility of what creative business could be like. And so I wanted to suggest a book that I've read quite a while ago called Creative Inc. This book is actually kind of the story of Pixar. And what I loved about it, not only as a fan of Pixar and getting to hear the story of Toy Story and the animation and kind of the ups and downs of they didn't know that was going to be pulled off, and then all of a sudden it was. But I also love the business side of it and getting to hear the different creative thinking of how somebody with more of a creative mindset to things thinks about how to run a business and how to grow things with intentionality, but still have art and purpose behind it. I really appreciated that about this book. And so if you're like me and you like those kind of books, I think you'll really appreciate that. And with those deep kind of thoughts, kind of brings us to the cultivator section. These are the people that really just want to think deeply, but also want to make things that are purposeful and life-giving. And really part of what you make is the space in which you make it. And that's why what a lot of these cultivators and artists won't tell you is they actually just want something to kind of vibe up their studio a bit. They just want that fake plant, honestly. Like, I can't tell you what I would give for just like a fake tree sometimes, just because you get so cooped up inside doing a thing that sometimes it's nice to just look over and see like some sort of fake life there. And so just a good fake plant that you can take care of but still gives a good vibe is always something that is actually wanted by a creative in your life. So definitely get that. But they may want that, but they actually need these little frames that I think are really helpful to steward a couple different practices in my life. I'll actually share how we've done this as a family, but then actually extend maybe a challenge to maybe you as and your family, or you as a creative if you're a visual artist or somebody who likes to sketch. Switchable frames in which you can kind of switch out the picture in it. We've been using regular frames for a while, but I'm gonna be switching to these for my house that we use for my boys. And the reason I do this is because I want my boys to learn two things. I want them to know that the things that they make are celebrated in my house, and we want to stop and appreciate things that take time to make, but also to be intentional. And some things are worth throwing away, but some things are worth actually hanging up and appreciating for a little bit. And so we have two frames in our house that we kind of rotate. And so I want to add a third and kind of make it really easy to rotate. And so I found these little frames on Amazon, and I want to challenge you. Maybe you're somebody who's been maybe slow to make things or slow to really publish your art, and you just need to practice stopping and appreciating the things you make, or you just want to have a fun activity and challenge for your kids. Pick one thing a week to switch out in your frame and make it a celebration. Make it a kind of fun in the household moment where you get together and switch out the art in the frame. And you can say, look what we've made today, and we get to rest in all that God has done this week and lay this down and rest in what's been left undone, and then launch into a new week with a fun little art piece. So I found these frames and I'm going to switch to them, and I hope maybe that will be a cool thing that you can implement with your family. But with that kind of idea of the things that you make matter, I wanted to recommend a book called Art and Faith, A Theology of Making by Makoto Fujimura. This is a book that I've gone through with a couple different people at many different times, and it's really just a theology of making is kind of the subtitle of the book. But what I love about this book is it gives just as much attention to what is being done in the studio as a theological work and a spiritual work, as it is like a creative work in and of itself. And I think this is very easy for creatives to understand, but maybe sometimes hard to put actual words to that actually help them relate to others and even help others understand the actual spiritual nature of what they make. So I found this a really good read just for giving me vocabulary and kind of handles to hold as I think about art and faith and how the two go together. It is not an introductory read at all, I would say. In fact, if you're kind of new to theology and that sort of thing, maybe start somewhere else. But this is a good, solid read just to sit down by a fire with a good cup of coffee and just dive in deeper into what it looks like to be a maker and somebody who makes things for the glory of God, and how that plays a part in your spiritual formation as an artist too, and just kind of really seeing how those two worlds come together. I really love this book, so definitely take a chance, check that out. And then last but not least, let's move into the category of the maker. This is somebody who just enjoys making. Whenever I think about that kind of person, I just think I want to grab a coffee with that person. And so that's why the only gift I would want to give this person is just a solid travel mug, just one that you can kind of take to church with you, one that you can kind of travel around with you. There's nothing better than a good solid travel mug. And in fact, I've never had this one, but my buddy has one, and I'm going to have it do a live with him tomorrow. And let's see if I can trick him right now to talking about how much he loves this Fellow mug. So let's cut to Dan talking about that Fellow mug now.
So I used to ride my bike down to a gas station that was like the only store, and they had Tootsie Rolls for a penny, and I would save my pennies. And then I would ride my bike down, and you could get ice cream at this little corner store. This is the corner down here.
Yeah.
And there was bullet holes in the window that had just been like tacked in. At least they looked like bullet holes. Maybe they weren't, but
Yeah.
I always thought they were as a kid. So I
Because
grew
that
up.
was way cooler to think it was.
Yeah.
All right, and hopefully I did a good job of baiting him into that. So definitely get one of those fellow mugs. But along with that, they also just need, probably more than anything, a solid notebook. And I'm not talking about any notebook. I'm talking about like a moleskin notebook with the grid lining. The classic traditional thing. And the reason this is important, and I have mine right here, this is actually one of many. I have a bunch of different notebooks with different categories, is because I think it's good to have sometimes a chance to step away from the computer and actually get physical and write something, or write out the lyrics to the song, or sketch the picture, write the poem. Actually put pen to paper is a practice that so oftentimes as digital creators or creators that end up living so much online, it's good for us to separate from that and actually write. And so there's a couple different notebooks you can get. And maybe even if you want to level up past just the notebook, is grab a full focus planner. This has not only the notebook component, but also has a project planning structure to it that I use. In fact, if I'm being honest, I don't use it all the time, but when I'm at my best, I use their system when it comes to tracking projects and pulling these sorts of things off. So definitely check that out and look into that. I'll include a link below. And last but not least, I want to include one of my favorite books, as if you are a maker, somebody really just beginning to understand how what you make plays a role in your spiritual formation and the formation of others. I want you to check out this book right here. It's one of my favorites, called Images and Idols by Thomas Terry and Ryan Lister. This is really just a good primer into theology and creativity and what it means to be human and a creative at the same time, and how that plays a role not only in this earth, but in the world to come. And so I just wanted you to check out that book. It is a really encouraging read. In fact, we've been going through it as residents in this community I started called Flock. In fact, that is the final thing that I wanted to tell you about. If you are a creative that's really looking to invest in your work and your creative work and your spiritual formation this year, I want to invite you to join our residency through Flock. This is a program where we go through books like the ones that I've mentioned, but also host workshops where we talk about topics that are not only tools and tactics to get your ministry and grow your work and get it out there, but also to think through critically as a Christian as we kind of try to live this life as creators. And everybody that joins now, I'm actually working one-on-one with them to kind of get their projects to the next step, because I know how hard it is as a creative to feel like you're doing it alone. And so I just wanted to give some of my time to help you get it off the ground, begin starting that project, or continue to grow that project and that ministry that you're already trying to take that to the next level. I want to help you. And so I want to invite you to click the link below, check out the Flock Resident Program, or just check out the different things I'm doing online to help other indie Christian artists, like providing different ideas and gifts and stuff like this. So if that makes sense for you, I want you to check it out. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this list and all the different gifts for different Christian creatives. And I hope it is a good one and fruitful one, and a good holiday season as we head into the end of the year and into the next season. I'm really excited about what the Lord's going to do. I hope you are too. And with that, I will see you in the next video.